Yeah. So can I ask you, over the years, I mean, how long did you stay at Everton Park?
Like I say, I really cannot remember because 62 to, let me see, maybe when my father retired,
Mm.
so we were asked to leave Everton Park, you know.
Right, right,
So,
yes.
so the HDB
Mm.
gave us a flat in Bukit Merah.
Ah.
So we had to buy that flat. So my father had to buy because he was no more an employee of PSA. So we were actually given a flat by the HDB at that time, the HDB, and that was in Bukit Merah.
Mm.
So he retired at the age of maybe 60 or maybe, I know, I think so.
Any thoughts then at the time about leaving Everton Park?
Okay. The other things I want to tell you about Everton
Mm.
Park now. During Chinese New Year, right?
Mm.
They used to fire firecrackers, and they do it from the flats, you know. So they used, I
That's
don't know whether
fun,
you
yeah.
know about it. So they compete with each other. They compete with each other. So they will, the firecrackers will go right below, you know. I mean, from the height of the flats, depending on which level they are staying in. So they will just drop the firecrackers, you know, all the way there. And then somebody from they go downstairs and they will light it up, you know. And you see, everything will, start burning like firecrackers, you know. So that was one thing that we always remembered. Every Chinese New Year, we were actually looking forward to that, you know. So then the early morning you will see that all this, the all the wastages from the burning of the crackers, right? You see all will be in a heap, you know. The whole thing, it will be all heaped up, and then the people will be coming to clean out that place and all that.
Yeah, you
And
ever
then
destroy anything?
they did. It's just
Uh,
what happened is they actually sometimes they fire rockets and all that. You know,
yeah,
those kind of
yeah,
rockets they're
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
president. In fact, they fired and then people's curtains get burnt and all that. But there was one incident I remember even from my place. Somebody fired a rocket into I told you that we had an oil installation right in front of us.
Oh my
That
goodness.
belonged to
Oh,
this the port. So
yeah.
fire started there. They quickly put out the fire.
Gosh.
That was one of the very bad incidents that we saw. So that was one of it.
Yeah,
Um,
I can kind of
yeah,
imagine, right? The children would not think of the consequences, right? They're just having fun, right?
yeah, because nobody. That actually, that was one of the time the government started
Yes.
look at banning all this, so they started banning them. So the other thing that happened in Everton Park was
Mm.
almost every night at night you can hear screaming,
Ah.
fighting. You know
Oh.
the gang fights that are going on. You know, so you can hear the screams. On next day morning, you can see trace of blood and all that there. So that's thing that also happens there. Lah. It's a regular affair in Everton Park. You know, in the nights. So
Did the secret societies ever bother you?
no, they don't bother us.
Mm.
Actually, what was there was during that time was also it's a time that were a lot of drug addicts. Some days you can see the drug addicts. You can see them on the staircases. Unconscious.
So these were
Sometimes
likely to be residents.
not necessarily.
Mm.
Not necessarily.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot
Did
of people were into the drugs and all that. Lah.
So this was very
Yeah,
much a working class area, would you say?
yeah, it was a
Mm-hmm.
working class area.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, many of them were from the same neighborhood line. I mean, the guys, all the youths, young people, young youths. I
Mm.
think there was one time when we opened the door. I think I saw someone, the unconscious. So you got to call the police and all that. So yeah, it was very common. Very common. We know that, including the gang fights and all this. Our drug addicts falling right in front of your house and all that. Very common. It's quite scary. Like they all come up, they walk around.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Did you ever feel unsafe living it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, true. What do you say? That's just because of these drug addicts, and plus the evenings you can hear all this noise, big time. Actually, down there, I should say mainly Indians. No, there's this all these problems were caused mainly by Indians.
Ah.
So the gang fights were there, lah. So they come, they do it, the night time and all that. So yeah, that also the police would come, lah. They know that this was a regular area for fights and all that.
Yeah.
So this Everton Park was actually initially when people came in, mainly Indians. Because they came from the port, all of them were Indians, So they were there. Majority were Indians.
Because I understand the whole
Uh,
Tanjong Pagar area,
yeah,
actually, there were lots of secret societies in that
yes,
area, right, in
yes,
those
correct. That's
days.
right. Yes, we know
But
that. Yeah.
I don't know much about Indian gangs, though. Do you know the
Uh,
names of these Indian gangs? Do they have
Oh, I don't
names?
know. I never want because they were very timid, like that. I mean, my parents, the way they brought us up, because like I said, we only
Uh,
we really spend a lot of time with our neighbors, which we all know them very well,
mm,
and usually they all very very nice people. So we don't get involved. My parents, obviously, your parents would tell you, you don't get involved in all this, you don't go and all that. So yeah, so we never got involved, and I wouldn't know much about them. I know they every night, almost every night, you can hear
mm.
some noises, screaming, all that.
Yeah,
So
right,
yeah.
right. Do you think so? About 5 years there, do you
Uh,
see any changes in Everton Park, like any kind of development?
yeah. Everton
Mm.
Park was, I think, was redeveloped by the HDB. So once they got us moved up, once they got all the
Yeah.
PSA employees out of the place, once they retired, they had to go out somewhere. So once they gave us the HDB place, they went to do improvements to the Everton Park. In fact, they broke up some three room and 4 room or something like that. They broke up and they made it into a 5 room and all that. They made some improvements in the houses lying, in those flats. And then they resold.
Ah.
HDB took over and then they resold it to people.
So
Yeah.
are those flats that you were staying, are they still there?
They are there, lah, but I don't know to
Mm.
what extent they have made improvements to those flats. So I
Okay,
really
so the
don't know.
block is still there, lah, but maybe they have
The blocks are
merged.
still there.
Yeah,
The blocks are
right.
still there. Yeah, they're still there.
Mm.
I've been there also. Yeah, the blocks are all still there.
Okay, I think in 1979 they renovated the houses. Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes,
that is
yeah.
after you all left.
After we left,
Mm.
they renovated the place. That's right.
Okay, so you mentioned you've gone back there recently.
Yeah.
How does it feel different now?
Yes, it feels different because I will just look at it as another HDB
Yeah.
estate. And then with the same thing, we have the usual coffee shops, the provision shops, and so on. So now they have this multi-purpose hall also there,
Mm.
conduct ceremonies and all that. So yeah, so it's similar to what we are living in now, this kind of HDB flats.
Yeah, the businesses there, the shops there are also quite different today, right?
Uh,
From what I've read.
Shops, yeah, I mean, not very much different because I think in terms of layout, they are okay. In terms of
Mm.
layout, it's about the same. The layout was about the same because, in fact, the blocks are the 7 blocks are still there. So that is the main part of the layout, Then the shops were just below the shops were just below the block G where Venu was staying. The shops were there. A few shops
Mm.
were there. I think the same people are now owning the shops, if I'm not mistaken. The same
Ah,
people.
okay, okay.
Shops are
So
still there. The
there's
one that
still
I saw
some
in the video.
continuity, yeah.
Yeah, there's some continuity there.
They have been painted, right? Have they not been painted?
Yeah. They've been painted. Some changes have been made. They have a multi-story car park. All these are new.
Mm.
Those days we didn't have multi-story car parks and all that.
How did you feel when you had to leave to Bukit Merah? Did you
Yeah,
have
I
any
think
feelings?
basically I would miss my friends. The friends there. When I go to Bukit Merah, we are going to be on our own. We know for sure that all of them are not coming with us to the same place. So yeah, so I know that I would really lose touch with my friends
Mm.
and families there. All families, it's not going to be the same. It will not be the same, when we are at Bukit Merah.
Right,
And that's
right. Is this at Jalan Bukit Merah or Bukit Merah Central?
this is Jalan Bukit Merah, Jalan Bukit Merah, just before the you turn into Lower Delta Road.
Mm-mm. And your father retired by the time, lah.
My father was retired. That's why we had to go to Bukit Merah. So they won't allow him to stay there because he's retired and he's no more an employee of PSA.
Can I ask you now about
Yeah.
Silat School and how your experience was in I was talking to Ashok about this, of course, and yesterday at Venu. Do you remember your teachers?
My teachers, I remember, in fact, right now we have a teacher, Miss Margaret Tan.
Mm.
She's actually in a WhatsApp group with all of us. We remember her very vividly because she really, takes very good care of her students, pupils, and she brings us out on a personal trip, on some personal trips, to some anywhere, some of the beaches and so on, and yeah, so yeah, she's Miss Tan, and we have got Mrs. Ng, and then
Mm.
I think there's another Mr. Edward Tan, and a few of them, there. Um, but we always remember her because she was very close to us, and very very concerned about her students.
Mm. And what's remarkable, you still in contact, today, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, it's very fine. Everyone who meets me, I tell them I have a group of secondary school students and my primary school students. And by that, primary school students, I say, teachers also with us, so in that group. So the communication, we still have that communication going, and we enjoy. We go out. Sometimes we gather out to sit and talk to see. When we talk, we are talking about 60 years ago, 60, 65 years ago, and
Yeah.
friendship. So it's nice to be there. Today I'm retired. Most of them are retired. So we get a chance to see our old friends. Yeah. So it's nice, very nice to do that.
Mm.
Yeah, so this some of my thoughts about that lah. We still, yeah, so it is good to know that we all of them are doing very well. They are all in good health. So when you see each other, we have a lot of memories to share, like what I'm sharing with you today. Yeah.
Mm. Any memorable things happen in the school?
In the school, well, honestly, I cannot remember, we have yeah, not I can't remember anything else, because besides this, we had a sports day. We participate in sports day. We have but I think most memorable one is where we actually go out with this teacher, Miss Tan, and we really go
Mm.
out. And these teachers were actually very caring, and I that's what I can very remember very vividly, and
Mm. Because
yeah.
I can kind of like assume that for a lot of the kids of those days, right, you don't
Uh-huh.
get a much opportunity to go elsewhere in Singapore, to go out in Singapore, really, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So we've gone out a few places with them, the teachers and all that. On our own, actually, we can only play around your housing areas and so on, the group of friends that you have. Unless, like I say, my father, I told you earlier, my father, every time there's a passenger ship there, he will bring us to the passenger ship. He will bring us into the passenger ship. We'll go around, very excited. Yeah, being so young at that time, be very excited to go into the ship, on whole, we have given a tour of the ship, inside the
Mm.
ship.
Do
So
did
yeah,
did
so
did
these are
did
things I remember.
did you as a kid go around the Tanjong Pagar area, the
Tanjung
Pagar
Pagar
Road?
area is also, yes,
Uh,
yes, yes. I did. Tanjung Pagar area, if you ask me what is very memorable about area, is the young kids swimming pool.
mm. Mm.
There was a young kids swimming pool there. So I used to go to the pool to swim. I tried to learn swimming there, but I never learned. I never learned to swim
Mm.
at all. And Tanjung Pagar, we used to go around Tanjung Pagar. There were a lot of shops. Again, at that time, at that period, during that period, I was all with all those people, a lot of Indian workers with a lot of Indian shops there, eating shops and all that. Yeah, so friends were there. My father also used to bring us there, so we go with him usually, lah. No, yeah, that's what I can remember about Tanjung Pagar.
Tanjong Pagar has completely changed today, right? Today is just office
Yeah,
buildings,
correct.
commercial.
That's right. That's
Mm.
right. Because around the area we also have places. Oh, no, okay, okay. I also forgot to tell you. After Everton Park, we went to this place called Low Hill Road. This was
Ah,
closer to the
okay,
PSA gate. Low Hill Road.
okay,
We were there. Okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
I forgot to tell you. That one, after Everton Park, we had to go to Low Hill Road.
Was that
So we
temporary for a short time?
we stayed there for 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Not
Mm.
2 or 3 years, I think. That was, yeah,
Okay.
that was nearer to the PSA gate itself.
So this was after your father retired.
Low Hill Road was no, my father was still working. Yeah, otherwise
Okay,
you cannot
okay.
go there. Also, yeah, you cannot go
Yes,
there
yes.
because
Because
that
also
one is
PSA, right?
was the point block. That was
Mm,
much better. It was a point
mm,
block.
mm,
It was
mm,
the one had 4 rooms. I think it was very very nice. Only
mm,
meant for PSA workers, the PSA employees. We stayed there for a few years. I think 2 or 3 years. I think so.
mm,
So that
mm.
was close to Blair Play, and then they also got a place called Scott's Green.
Yes.
Okay, so these
Mm,
are all sort of our friends, our family friends, and all that. We were all there. So we
yeah.
used to play games with them, some of those traditional games and all that. And then we used to also to go to Spottiswoode Park, also
Mm,
just in front of the
mm.
this Low Hill Road. So there's Spottiswoode Park. Mm, yeah, so these places, yeah, I remember these places very well.
So, I think a lot of these names, Scott's Green,
Yeah.
the name is gone. It's no longer there.
Scott Green all
Yeah,
is gone. Even Blair Plain, Low Hill Road. Low Hill Road is still there. No, I'm not. I know it was called Low
yeah,
Hill Road. I'm
yeah.
not too sure today whether the Low Hill Road is the name is still
Mm.
there. Only
How?
Spottiswoode Park Road is there,
Yes, yes. Spottiswoode is still
and
there.
Sepoy Lines is no more there. Sepoy Lines, they don't call it Sepoy Lines anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so that one is not there. So yeah.
Could I
So
ask
everything is.
you, Low Hill
Hmm.
Road, how many blocks of flats were there?
We had Low Hill Road. Let me see. I think it's only one. If I'm not mistaken.
Only one point block lah.
One point block only, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken. Yeah. There was only one point block, Low Hill Road.
And these were actually also new houses built by the
New houses. These
PSA,
were
yeah?
new houses, brand new
Mm.
houses built by PSA at that time.
Yeah.
But now it's demolished. Now they've already demolished it. But even the
Um,
Spottiswoode Park was actually built by them, built by the PSA,
yes, yes.
Spottiswoode Park.
Yeah. Yeah,
So now the HDB is.
I mean, I don't know if you find it a bit ironic, right? Because, HDB was having the public housing program in those years, 60s and 70s, and then encouraging people to buy houses, right?
Okay.
At the same
Mhm.
time, PSA was building all this housing for its workers, which is a
Yeah.
kind of different policy, right?
Yeah, I
And in
think
the
they.
end, you had to merge, right? Like the HDB program had to be the main program.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that was probably government policies, lah. I mean, I don't blame
Yeah,
them because,
yeah.
and then they also saw that okay. I think also the policy that they didn't want to provide housing to
Mm,
housing to the employees because they think that it's not their core business. So therefore, I think they must have
mm,
worked
mm,
with the government and say that get the HDB to offer them houses lah, so they can
mm.
buy their own houses and stay there with them.
Yeah, I'm
So that
sure at the end of the day, everyone wants to own their own houses, right? Which is
correct.
HDB policy is successful.
Yeah,
But yeah.
correct.
Mm,
But like I said, like, I think it's to me, if you ask me,
mm,
it's a good thing to do because if it is not your core business, then don't do it. Then leave it to some other departments of the government to take care of it.
mm, mm.
The HDB, I think that is a good way to do things. HDB was the way to go.
Can I just ask you from your own experience, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you started staying in the staff quarters at
Okay.
Brisbane, and
Mhm.
then to also kind of PSA flats, right?
Mhm.
But maybe a bit different because it's high rise, it's like HDB, and then
Yes.
eventually to
Mhm.
Low Hill Road, and then eventually to Bukit Merah, which is standard
Yeah.
HDB, right?
Yes. True.
Like, what are the differences of living in staff quarters compared to HDB housing? Because you have experience in both.
I don't see the difference. I mean, for
Mm,
me, I don't really see the difference. It's just
mm,
another house. Maybe my father would have felt the difference because he may have been paying very low rentals and all that, like,
mm,
And when we came to HDB, you have to service the loans.
mm,
So it's a bit that he could have seen it, but we did not see it because we were never involved in the financial part of
mm,
this housing.
What about like the non-financial parts? Not so much the amount of
Uh,
money or.
the non-financial part also. I mean, it was difficult moving from one place, one house to another house. That was the difficult part because, like I said, there are a lot of emotions. Like you were losing friends, So friends for a few years, and then you just have to go to the new place and start making friends. It will take some time to make those friends, and you'll see that you don't get into the same kind of activities. So you will have to like forgo those activities, and then you try to come into a new environment and get used to that environment. So all this takes time. So this is the difference that I felt.
Can I just ask the last part, right,
Sure.
of the podcast, which is I didn't know before, which is on
Mm.
RI, right?
Yeah, but yes, right.
When you went to RI, where was RI?
When first it was at Stamford Road,
Which has been demolished, right?
demolished. So in 1971, I think it went to Grange Road. 1971 went to Grange Road. I was there also in Grange Road.
Is that still there around today?
Grange Road is not there anymore, I think. Grange Road is not there.
Okay.
Then they moved to Bishan, right? Bishan Street
Yes,
21.
yes. Which
Yeah,
is
they
very
moved to
close to
Bishan
you
Street.
today, lah, right?
Yeah, just very close. Yes.
Could you
Yeah.
kind of describe, right, RI in the 1960s, right? How was that
Yeah.
like? Stamford Road. Yeah.
Stamford Road. Yeah, those days, if you're in the secondary 1 and 2, you used to wear short pants and and short sleeve shirts,
Yeah.
So you have to go to school that way. And the school was okay because it's really a very old school, and they don't have the facilities that some of the schools have today. But still, but it's very old. The buildings were very old, colonial building. There was a colonial building. But all the activities, we had a small tuck shop, and everything was small. And but still, we continued. We had all the activities that any other like today what they have. We used to have like I know we used to enjoy those rugby games. Those days we have this St. John's School, St. Andrews. RI always for when it come to rugby. That was like a festival for us. Whichever schools we go and play. Was really a great football. Rugby was really one of my favorite games for me to watch. I did play rugby, just like 1 or 2 months. I couldn't take it, and I just gave up. But I watched the games, the inter-school games, especially between St. Andrews, St. John's, and RI. It'll be very, very interesting. SJI also at that time. So those like festivals for all of us. We will go down. The whole group will go down in a bus to go and watch those, cheer for the teams and all that. Yeah, that's my experience there.
Yeah, I think the younger people may not realize, right? In those days, in that area, whether it's Stamford Road, Victoria Street, North Bridge Road, there were so many schools in that area. Right?
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Yeah. Did you ever? So like, there would be students, after class or going to class, all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you interact with students from other schools?
Other schools, we had sometimes like we like other schools like it could be during the games line. Like I just told you earlier that during the games we used to go and cheer for the teams during the games. That during those times we interact with them, and sometimes we organize activities that we invite the others. For instance, we had a Tamil LDCS they call it Tamil literature and don't know what they call it, development literature, drama, and all that. So we used to go to the other schools, so we invite the students from the other schools to come to our school, and then that's where we interact with them. So sometimes we have competitions and so on, so they come over, and we also go over to the schools and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe let me ask the question in a different way, right? Like, so if there were many schools in the area, what were the kind of facilities or services that would attract students, in that Stamford Road, the North Bridge Road area? Were there things that the students would do, like after class?
After class, a lot of them go and watch movies. I remember watch movies and all that.
Which are the cinemas in that area?
There we had this what is
Cathay
that?
is there, right?
Cathay was there. Cathay was there. Capitol was there.
Mm,
Capitol Cinema, Cathay Cinema.
that's right.
Then Odeon was there also. These are the cinemas I know of that area.
What about cafes? Did you go to the
Cafe, is it?
cafes?
Oh, cafes. No,
Yeah.
actually, then during those days, we were still like our parents' children. So I would go back after school. I have to go back.
Okay.
Cannot stay out. I mean, stay after school hours. We cannot stay out. We have to be back at home. So I
Mm,
didn't really actually get out after school hours. I'm back home. Usually, I'm back home.
Your mom was quite strict. Uh,
We are used to it. Rather than say they were strict, we were used to them, to go back, for your food, home food, and next day you got to come back, and they will always tell you to come back because
mm,
not to get out and all that. I think they are also concerned that you may get into a bad company and so on.
mm,
So yeah, you have to just to. Those days that the children were also most of the children were very obedient to the
mm,
parents.
mm.
That's the culture. That was the culture then.
Do you remember the bookstores? I think along
Yeah, yeah,
Bras
yeah.
Basah Road, right?
Bras Basah, the
Mm, mm,
the complex, Bras Basah complex. Yes, yes, yes. We
mm,
go there. Yeah, we go there. Anytime there's a school starts, we need to buy books. School has the books, but still you need to buy those stationery and so on. We still go there. Yeah.
mm.
Even
Do you,
books, we still go there to buy the books and all that.
do you go there to like on a more like leisurely basis to browse and
Like I said, I don't really do that. Maybe I've been there like once or twice with friends, and when I get
mm,
some bit of time and then I go back. I don't really have this time to go out with friends, go
mm,
cinemas. And I cannot remember going to cinemas with my friends after school or what. No, I never we never do that. We never did that.
you're a wonderful boy.
Yeah, no choice because the parents not that like I literally not that they were strict but we
Yeah.
got very used to them. They
Mm,
would
mm,
need us to be there, that kind of thing.
mm. Could you talk about how RI was different when you all moved to Grange Road?
RI was different because we were meeting new friends who come from different schools.
Mm,
So very different way of learning about each other.
mm,
And then in the schools, how a bit different from our primary schools, So we were not only dependent on the teachers. We were not too much dependent on the teachers,
mm.
but we there were more. What I should say is interaction among
Yeah.
us, among the friends, more
Mm,
than what we would have when we were
mm.
in our primary schools.
Yeah, you mentioned Margaret Tan, right, at Silat
Yeah,
School. At
that's right.
RI, were there teachers who left an impression on you?
We have, but I don't remember the names. Wait, let me see. I would have to.
Yeah, we never
Alright,
prepared for
alright.
this.
The principal Philip Liau, he is one of them that I would always
Okay.
remember. Philip Liau
Mm,
was a principal during my time, so
mm.
I would always. He's always doing the assemblies. He has always got very good advice for the students,
Ah, okay. Like what
things
kind of
like
advice?
when you write an essay, what do you want to do? I can tell you about one such incident or one
Mm,
such thing that he gave a talk. He says that you write an essay, you don't use big words, in the essays. He says you must always make sure that your audience understands what can comprehend what you say. So
yeah.
you say use simple words, don't use bombastic words, use, so it'll be very nice. It looks very nice, but people don't understand, and what's the point?
Yeah, you can
So then
imagine the caliber of RI students by that comment, right? That a lot of
yeah,
them
yeah,
knew English quite well and had good
yeah,
vocabulary.
correct. I know a lot of them, but when he mentioned that, I said he read another essay. It says simple English, nothing big,
Mm,
yet we all of you will understand. I said. So
mm,
that
mm.
was something that is still in my mind today. Yeah, that left an impression on me.
You
Teachers were
met.
good. Teachers were also really that's just very hardworking. On my additional maths. The first time I went in, failed my additional maths. But this teacher, I can't remember his name. I'll only say. So he said, come. He says during the school holidays, he put me through this regiment. End of the year, I scored a distinction for additional maths. So I also remember that. It was a big change, in my life for me.
Mm,
So yeah, teachers were very, very good, very dedicated, you know. So that's, yeah, there's some of this that has impressions on me. There
Right,
was
right.
one of our Tamil teacher, the Jesudas, his name I
Ah,
know is Jesudas. He was also very, very good. He came from India, but he was
ah.
very, very good. And he also really, we learned a lot from him. He's someone who has set his impressions on me too.
So was Tamil like your second language?
Yeah, Tamil was my second language
Mm,
then,
mm, mm,
you know, but good. But Tamil, I had a basic good foundation. My father actually taught us before we went to school. He gave us all the basic foundation. So
mm.
I did quite very well in Tamil in school. The teachers also helped a lot.
Did you speak Malayalam at home?
No, no, we are Tamils. We just speak
Ah,
Tamil. We
you're
are not.
Tamils.
I'm from a South Indian town, from Tamil Nadu side,
Ah,
which is
okay, okay.
not from Kerala.
Okay, okay. Because you were talking about Kerala just now, so I assume that you are Malayali. You're Tamil.
But
Okay.
see, people like Ashok Udiok they can speak Tamil because
Ah,
when they were
okay.
in school, they had no choice. During those days, they had no choice. They're gonna have only to take Tamil. Tamil is because our official
Mm,
language was Tamil, and you know in the schools they only teach Tamil. You
mm,
know, so they have to speak Malayalam at home. So they are also good in Tamil. All this like Ashok,
mm,
Venu, and all they all Malayalis, but they're all very good in Tamil.
mm. Were you in the Tamil LDDS?
I think I was a member only. I was a member in the Tamil LDDS, yes, right.
Okay, okay. Did you like perform or take part in any
I've
activities?
taken part in like the sometimes you know talks and all that lah. No, not exactly debates, but talks. I given some talks and all that.
I mean, you are very fond of your classmates, schoolmates at Silat, right? Do
Correct.
you also do likewise for RI, the alumni? Do you still keep in touch with the RI
Yeah, yeah,
alumni?
yeah. We have a group. Yeah, we still keep in
Yeah.
touch with each other. Yeah, we teach. I mean, there's a group. Sometimes that Parai group we don't really go out, but I got one or two friends who actually we actually meet regularly.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, we still that's how we keep in touch now.
Do you still meet and talk about the old days at the old campuses at Grange Road, at Stamford Road?
Don't really talk about that. You know, today there's so much to talk about the current affairs of the country, and yeah, so we don't uh, delve into it lah. But sometimes it's somebody happens to pop up this question of the schools or what. Okay, then they start to talk about it. They start to discuss about it. So that's
Mm,
what.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the in your time when you were at RI? What was the like social economic profile, right, of the students there?
Because they came those days they came to school because they came to RI because
Mm, mm,
they had good marks scored good
mm,
marks so yeah I most of them I think they all come from a well-to-do family.
mm. When they came to school, right? Did they come in cars or did they?
Not all of them lah. I
Not
think
all of them.
actually during that time most of them don't come in cars lah.
Okay,
They'll
okay.
come in car.
And you yourself, would you take public transport or would you?
Public transport bus. Yeah, I have to take a bus from
Mm,
Bukit Merah. I used to take a bus there.
right, which is not far away. Yeah.
Not far away. Yeah.
So RI in those days was different from, let's say, some of the kind of more elite schools like ACS or the IJ schools, which were more middle income, right? Like,
Yeah, they
mm,
just I think RI also had this middle income people, low
mm,
income people, all that because the results were. I
mm,
mean, the admission to the school was based on the results from the
yeah,
school,
yeah,
so it doesn't really. They don't really come from a certain
mm,
socio-economic group. Eh?
mm, mm.
It's a mix. I would say it's a mix.
Do you know your classmates at RI? Like,
Yeah.
were there some from Silat school as well, or what schools did they come from?
Mm, Actually, from Silat School, don't think anybody went from my cohort. I don't think anybody came with
Mm,
me to
mm.
RI.
So you're basically alone, like you had to make new friends.
Yes, yes, I would make new friends there. But I was alone. If I'm not mistaken, I was alone.
Mm-mm. Were you able to kind of adjust to that and make new friends?
Yeah, was very easy. I mean, was very easy to make friends, and they said we all become friends. And then we had game sports and all that, Uh, yeah, we had sports and all these kind of things.
Thanks so much for sharing your
So,
memories of,
so,
the Tanjong Pagar Port area,
okay.
Everton Park, Silat School,
Yeah,
Low Hill Road as well.
yeah.
I think those are places which have left a very special memory up to today, right? It'd be great if you can find some old photos.
I try to do that. I'll go and look at it. I mean, so it's, my father, he passed away, so he was in the Bukit Merah. All his documents, everything was there. But I have to check
Uh,
with my brother to see whether they have any of those thing
okay,
photos. I
okay.
will send it to you definitely.
Right. Or maybe you
Yeah.
can just ask your the WhatsApp people if they have photos also.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I
Thanks
can
so
do that.
much. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah.
You
It was
know,
nice talking to you too, and
yeah,
then very nice. I mean, I hope I hope that all this will be successful. Or this podcast will be very successful for you, and thanks for taking the trouble to really create this podcast.
yeah. You have to help me make it successful. So you got to share it with your friends
I
and
will, I
Silat
will, I
School.
will, I will say
Eh,
no because you put
eh,
in so much effort. I
eh.
will also put
No,
in
no,
that
no,
effort
no,
to
no,
help
not
you,
at
lah.
all, not
Uh,
at all.
I mean, it's very nice to see people coming, historians. I mean, you're coming out to say that, oh yeah, I'm going to do all this. It's quite nice. Even for me, it's like
Mm.
it's a breather. I would say, hey, I'm trying to. I'm hearing about all this. Good to talk about because I don't really talk to anybody about this.
Ah,
Kind of like I mean this thing like history, I say no, I don't really talk. So someone asked me, that you asked me, so I wanted to share this with you,
right. Have you ever
so
thought of like writing your memoirs, writing it
I never,
down?
never, never, because now I'm into some like research and all that. Like I have a mentor. We are doing some research on
Ah,
adult education, the training in adult education sector. So he's a mentor. So we are working on it and putting a lot of efforts with him together
okay,
with him and
okay.
with
So
some
this
efforts.
is like a post-retirement stuff lah that you're doing.
Yes, post-retirement stuff. I mean, I'm not looking forward to money and all that anymore. So we
Okay,
just to do like voluntary work lah.
that's
That's what.
fantastic. This lifelong. This is with the is it with the Lifelong Institute or something?
Lifelong Institute of Adult Learning lah, AL,
Okay.
Lifelong Institute lah. Yeah, all together. Yeah, and plus the
Mm,
SUSS also lah. Part of it is SUSS.
uh,
This
I
mentorship program is a SUSS IAL program.
what did
Adult
you do
program.
subsequently? Were you a teacher?
I wasn't a teacher. I started this training with this IL in 2014. I
Mm.
started with we call it the Advanced Certificate in Training and Assessment. Then subsequently, I went to the days. I graduated with a diploma in adult and continuing education. So now
Okay.
we move on, and I think now, so this mentor who was my trainer from 2014, he meets me every like 3 months once, comes to my place here. She's chat, more of networking and trying to find out what. So now they came back. Now they have this program called the mentorship program where we sit and then work on certain things, and it's going to be over. So it's a 10-month program. So I just
Mm.
once a week, once a month we meet, then I got to do my own things. It's
And
good
after
to keep me occupied.
right, right.
So
And
I
after
just get
the
my.
program is over, what will come out of it?
We you can decide a few things lah. They may decide that I can go and teach in some of the programs. I can teach the
Okay.
adults in some of the programs, or I can go up and then if you want to further my education, I can also do it. Like they got some masters programs and all that, so I can
Mm.
also join them to do that. So
Mm.
this is, I mean, like I said again, I just want to keep myself occupied.
Right, right. But do you feel that lifelong programs activities are quite useful in the present
Very
day?
useful. Very.
Mm.
Suppose many times you hear retirees telling you that, oh, I don't know what to do. Oh,
Mm.
my time is that. So these are the things that they can get into and occupy themselves.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people retire and then without working, they seem to
Yeah.
have lost a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Many of
Yeah.
them
Sure.
don't have hobbies,
Yes.
don't have maybe not many friends left after all the
Yeah.
years of working, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and their quality of life may not be good after retiring, which is a bit
Yeah.
sad, right?
But the like for me, I was running and I was and now about 6 years ago I just started swimming and all that. So
Yeah.
now almost every day of the week I do something, either swimming or my running I have to do. So I
Ah.
will do that. I have friends with that. We have friends who are about 50 years ago. We are all joined together for 50 years. We have friends. We do this running and all that. So
Ah.
set up my own friends group and all that people. I like to meet them face to face. For me, I love to meet my friends face to face. So like we know all that, we try to make it a point. Maybe every 2 or 3 months, once we go somewhere, we sit down, we chat.
Mm-mm.
We've got a few of my friends who are from Silat school also. We meet personally.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you look pretty fit to me.
I hope so. Like I know, like I said, like I don't want to get into a point where I said, oh no, I'm so fed up
Yeah.
with life. So I keep going now. Now that now today I spend time with you, and then the afternoon I have to go back and look at my mentor. Tomorrow I'm meeting my mentor, so I have to prepare for it also. A bit of
Mm.
preparation. So
Right.
and then the evening probably spend some time with my wife now. Right now.
Fantastic, fantastic. I wish you all the best with the lifelong learning and active
Yeah.
aging, right?
I also wish. So how old are you actually? Can I
I
ask?
53, 53.
Oh, yeah, young man, very young. But very noble. What you are doing is very noble.
Oh,
I
I
can
love
see.
talking to, our seniors and finding out, what they did for our country and also for themselves. Lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
No, I
it's
think that, like
fantastic.
I told you earlier that my parents decided they want to stay in Singapore, which I
Yeah.
think I believe it's very nice of them to do that. My mother saw something lah. She said that no, you're not going back to India. You're going to do that here, and you continue. She was happy lah until she passed away. She was very happy with us.
Mm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
when I was 26, she passed away. But yeah,
Her
so good.
decision
So
proved the right one. Yeah. You're
yeah, yeah.
all did all very well here.
I
And
think we
Singapore
all,
has done well as well.
yeah, all of us are doing okay. So a bit of change lah. My brother went off to Australia. My sister also went off to Australia. My son also went to Australia. He doesn't want to stay here.
I
So
think
I'm pulling.
Venu's children is also one of the
One of
sons
them.
also, right?
The son
Yeah.
is in Melbourne. Yeah, the son
Yeah,
is in
you
Melbourne.
know, every time I talk to the seniors, right, their children are all over the world. You
All over the world.
know?
Yeah. Every of my say even in Silat school, I think most of my friends,
Yeah.
most of them, probably about 90% of them, they have one of the child in Australia or the UK or mostly in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's very nearby. It's easy to fly over, right?
My sister went there about 27 years ago, lah. So she married a
Ah,
South Australian there, and then she decided to go back there. Okay, but she comes here regularly, lah.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
that.
It's not too
So
far a flight. Yeah, yeah. So all the best for your
yeah,
afternoon and have good afternoon session. Yeah.
thank you.
Talk to
Thank you
you
very
again.
much, Lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye
talk to you
bye.
again. Yeah, bye.